Hello friends, welcome to my channel. In Salesforce testing series, I'll make you familiar with the Salesforce business scenarios with the real-time user stories and acceptance criteria. By looking at the business requirement, I'll give you tips and tricks how you can develop test scenarios and detailed test cases. So your contribution is also important. So while watching these videos, you can come up with your suggestion like being as a Salesforce test engineer, what are the test scenario, possible test scenario for that particular requirement. And also if you have, better suggestion for improving the test cases as a best practice, me, you can give your suggestion in the comment section. So I will include those suggestions and the scenarios that you have mentioned in my upcoming videos. So, but with this series, you will learn what are the different business scenarios as a test engineer you will come across. So let's go and get started. So for today's video, this is the user story example. And so what this user story says, as a sales user, operation marketing user, when I'm deleting primary contact record for an account, system should prevent user in deleting the record and should show warning message. So, so this is the business requirement, and as they have mentioned, sales user, operation marketing user. So we have to get the profiles for sales, operation, and marketing user. So it could be sales rep, it could be sales manager, depending on the profile of sales team, right? Operation team, marketing team. So we'll get all this detail from the business analyst. Error message that they want to show on the detail page, right? So basically, while doing the testing, we'll make sure that error message is as per the requirement, right? So acceptance criteria also business analyst responsibility, and they make sure that they provide adequate right acceptance criteria for the user story. And if you have any doubt on the user story or on the acceptance criteria, you will always ask those questions and concern from the business analyst. So the acceptance criteria is based on the personas or the based on the profile. So acceptance criteria is depending on the three things. Given is a situation and what action you will do and what you will expect. So based on those criteria, we define the acceptance criteria. So given I'm a Salesforce user, when I try to delete primary contact for an account, I should not be able to delete the primary contact. So this is the acceptance criteria. So I have given three acceptance criteria here for operation user, marketing user, but basically they are doing the same thing, right? But we have to specify all those things in the acceptance criteria. It can be included in the same line, but ideally we should the acceptance criteria should be different for each user, right? So as it is mentioned here, so you can think of from a testing point of view, what would be the scenario for this functionality, right? So always start with positive scenario. So the positive scenario can be when user is deleting primary contact on UI or through data loader. So this is the ideal scenario when you're deleting a primary contact, right? So you should a system should not allow you to delete the primary contact, and it should prevent you to delete the record, and should show error message as per the business requirement. Negative scenario when user is deleting non-primary contact on UI or through data loader. So you have to check through UI as well as through data loader, because normally we do operation through data loader as well. So in both the scenario, it should work. So we need to check above scenario for all the mentioned profiles. So basically we'll be doing testing with all the profiles. So if we are logging as a sales user and login as a marketing user, we have to check these two scenario, positive and negative. So so think as a Salesforce tester, what could be additional scenario. Let me know if you think that there could be more scenario. I'll be happy to discuss in my next video. Test case, what could be the test case steps? So you log in as a sales user, go to account which has related contacts, and go to related contacts and look for the primary contact. And you open the primary contact and you try to delete the primary contact. So when you take the action of deleting the primary contact, system should warn user with the error message, you cannot delete primary contact record, and prevent user in deleting the contact record, right? So here is the format that the standard format for writing test case. So basically you write test case in Excel sheet, or if you are following some tool for creating your test cases, then the these are the columns that usually these are the columns that you give while specifying your test cases, right? So it starts with test case ID. So test case ID is the identifier through which you identify the test case. So in that case, you follow the naming convention of the company that you are working on. So normally the test case ID represent the summary of the test, short summary, crisp summary of what you are trying to do in that test case. So it starts with primary contact record deletion, and you give the some number in order to identify. So if you are working on some automation tool or testing tool, so the number will automatically generate for you, right? So test scenario when user is deleting primary contact on UI. So the one that we have identified above. So we are specifying here prerequisite. So you should have URL, valid username, valid password, and some test data, account records and contact records in order to test the functionality. Test steps, you will mention the above steps here, right? And expected result, system should prevent user in deleting the record and should show warning message as per the user story. And actual result, you will write when you will actually test the application, correct? So let me show you this on the UI as well, and what would be on this scenario. So I have already developed some flow on this requirement, and I'm going to show you how uh, when you are running your test cases, what you have to do, right? So let me go to Trailhead. So you can do the same thing in your practice or, and I have already given some videos, but you need to build some flow around this functionality. But as a tester, you're not going to do those steps, but you basically I just wanted to make you understand what you have to expect when you're working in the actual environment, or actual uh, environment in the company, right? So here I'm in the account record. So uh, contact is the related record of the account. So you'll go on the related tab and look for the contact which is tagged as primary. So the contact will be tagged through primary through any field. So here I have created one field level. So it has, this is picklist field, and it has three values under it: primary, secondary, and tertiary. If it is primary, that means it is a primary contact record. So this is not primary. Let me go to other record and see if that record is primary or not. So there could be, many ways to identify primary or contact record. We can show up that contact record information on the account as well through automation. So that way we can always identify which record we have to see for the primary contact. So this contact record, Miss Rose, this is primary contact since we have identified the level as primary. So as per the business requirement, only one record can be primary record, but we that covers different functionality and that should be part of the different user story. So so we are focusing on the deletion functionality, right? So let's try to delete the functionality and see uh, how that functionality is behaving. So delete contact. Are you sure you want to delete this contact? And click on delete. So here is the error message. You cannot delete primary contact. So our functionality is fine. So this is the positive scenario that you have tested and it is working as per the business requirement, and you will pass the test case, right? Okay, so one scenario is completed, and now as a negative scenario, we'll try to cover the non primary contact record, and we'll try to see whether we are able to delete the primary contact record or not, right? So I will go on to other record which is not primary, so that means that is a non-primary record. So I'll try to delete this contact record, and system should allow me to delete this contact record and should not prevent me in deleting this contact record. So let me try to delete this contact record. Your attempt to delete will not be complete because it is associated with the following case. Okay, so some other automation is restricting this contact in deletion. So let me try some other account and look for the primary non-primary contact. So let me see if this is primary or not. So this is primary. Okay, okay. So this is secondary. Let me try to delete this contact record, and system should allow us to delete this contact record as this is non-primary contact record. Okay, so we are able to delete this contact record. So our both the testing scenarios are working fine. So we haven't found any defect in the functionality that developers have implemented on that user story. So let me know if you have any questions or any comments, or if you want to add some more test scenarios, please add in the comment section. I will try to include in those testing scenario which you have suggested in my next video. And in this series we will learn the real-time business scenarios, the user story example and the acceptance criteria, and we will cover we'll identify test scenario and the detailed test cases, with just one set of scenario, right? And similarly you have to develop your test cases based on the scenarios that you will be identifying on the business requirement. So that's the expectation from the Salesforce tester or test engineer or test analyst, right? So I'll be, waiting for your comments and suggestions, and let me know if you want to know something else apart from this in this series. I'll be happy to include those things in my upcoming videos. Thank you.